The Kansas Jayhawks Rugby Football Club are now entering their 60th year of play. They are the oldest club in the region. They have had success through the years, including playing for the national D1AA title of American College Rugby in 2022, losing to Fresno State in Arlington, Texas. I, Barry Anderson, sat down with head coach Seth Akpanova to discuss how the rugby culture here is and explains the 60th year tenure.
So I think the club culture that we have here is something pretty special. We're going into our 60th year, so there's a pretty long club history that we have with a lot of people that are very invested and give back to the club. We do a lot to help the culture off field as well. So since about 77, I think, we've gone on tour every 2 years with a few exceptions here and there. But that's just a really great opportunity to get the guys just life experiences that aren't rugby related, experiencing different rugby cultures, and experiencing different cultures in general just because of the fact that we're in different countries.
Not only do we get to hear from the coach, but different point of views from some of the players on what rugby means to them.
Obviously, I think rugby culture is the best sports culture in the world, you know. You got 23 guys on a team that'll go to war with you for 80 minutes straight, and then they'll be able to come off the pitch and have fun. And even with the other side, you know, you're battling the other team for 80 minutes, and you guys step off the pitch, you're best friends. Like, it's really...
Rugby is a sport of contact, especially without protection. I asked one student on how he can take hits in practice and in games while still managing his schoolwork on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, you definitely get beat up a little bit, but also that's kind of just part of the game, and you got to deal with it. So, but it's not too bad. You get used to it.
The Australia Club rugby team plays KU this Saturday, and I asked a player on the Australia team of his emotions going against the KU culture.
Yeah, just first time in America, happy to be here, excited. Going against these KU rugby boys, pretty nervous, thrilled, you know. Just keen to get out there and play some rugby against some American talent.
For the past 4 decades, Johnny Tavern's owner, Rick Renfro, has invested into the Kansas Jayhawks Rugby Club. He's been a big part of their success and is going to explain his journey with this team.
So I kind of view the rugby club as my lifetime too. When I was young and single and an athlete and really liked playing, I stayed around before the game itself. But as I became more mature and didn't want to play anymore, I've been traveling with the team a lot, and I support the team and do whatever I can to help out, and that's what's kept me involved.
It was a great day out here in Westward, seeing the boys connect with each other on the field. I am Barry Anderson.
Sarah Nalak-Sela, also known as Singing Sarah, owner of Sunflower Music Therapy, is a music therapist and music specialist who shares her music with children and uses that music to teach kids literacy skills. She is a big advocate for helping kids develop life skills.
All right, so this event is a weekly story time that is all musically based, and so it's an opportunity for families in the community to come bond with their child or learn new ways to interact through music and kind of just build a joy of both reading and music.
Sarah is active around the community and works to offer upbeat music, showing children how music impacts them. Her efforts even bring joy to the parents.
Our daughter is almost 2, and she really likes the music aspect of it. It holds her attention really well. The other ones, it's more of like a sit down and listen, and that's a little bit harder for her. And so having that music, she just really responds well to it and can actually listen to the music and listen to the book.
The reason why we like the event is teaches our daughter like different music and story rhymes, and then also she loves the guitar, she loves the dance, and it also is great for kids.
Her mission is to make sure children learn social skills, gain emotional intelligence, and enjoy doing it. For KUJH News, I'm Barry Anderson. Graduation day is around the corner. Emotions are piling up. Families are excited about their relatives to finally graduate. On March 29, 2023, the KU Edwards Regent Center hosted their 2023 Spring Graduation Fair. This event is an easier way for future graduates to get their photos took and an easier way to buy cap and gown outfits. A few sources went deeper to tell us what this event was about and the impact it had on students.
And the goal is really to help them prepare for commencement, and part of that's very transactional. Buy your cap and gown, get fitted, get the tassels you need, take a look at diploma frames.
Not only are they offering graduation photos and cap and gowns, but there is also KU gear, antiques, jewelry, and other things that can represent a future KU graduate. The KU Alumni Association played a big part in this event. We got to look on a student's perspective view on how this event impacted her.
Definitely made things a lot easier to be able to come in and buy everything, but it also made graduation like a lot more real, like in real time, like this is actually happening.
Graduates can't wait for the day when they receive their degree and move their tassel to the left. Van Kelly, who is the director of graduate studies, is hosting 3 screenings of The Lives of Extraordinary Women Senegal trilogy, which is all written by screenwriter and movie director Moussa Sena Absa. Kelly dives in to tell us a little about the film series.
This film series is impactful for West African women in that it depicts women who are building their independence and their resilience in an environment that can be very challenging, both in economic and social terms, in the capital of Dakar, in the capital of Senegal, Dakar.
Kelly brought in Absa to discuss his film of Tableau Farai and informed his audience on women's role in West Africa.
Women have a fantastic role in a society, in my society, let's say. Because of education, the women are those who educate in my society.
An audience member gave his opinion on the film series.
Moussa Sena Absa really focused on women on that, and this movie was really just also about the woman's status in Senegal and kind of giving to women what belongs to them.
Absa made a lot of French and African films in his lifetime. He's received a lot of awards and gained a lot of international recognition.
I watched the first film and can say it was a wonderful experience. For KUJH News, I am Barry Anderson.
Stephanie Smith, House Director of the sorority Delta Gamma, is an icon to many women in the House. Smith introduces us to how she started and what made her become a House Director.
So I had just retired from teaching, and they had a lady kind of leave in the middle of the school year, and they needed somebody to come in for 2 weeks, and so I've been here 8 years now.
Smith plays a big role in this sorority and digs down into detail of some of the things she does around the house.
So as a house director, you're pretty much property management. You're making sure that everything's working on any given day. Just about anything can break. And there's so many working parts in a place like this. So it's HVAC, water flow, anything in the kitchen, anything in a restroom, anything that has to do with lights, camera action. We keep it going. It's just pretty much about property management.
Not only do the women in the house enjoy her presence, but she enjoys their presence as well.
Well, I feel like anytime you're around young people, you're doing the best thing that you can do. And when your time on earth, I loved being a teacher for 30 years, and this is just another opportunity to be around the people that are going to change the world, making the world a better place. And this, being in that place makes me happy and gives me an opportunity just to feel like I'm still contributing.
She also has fun with taking care of the house dog, Delta Blue. For KUJH News, I'm Barry Anderson.
Welcome back to KUJ Sports. I am Barry Anderson. Our Jayhawks have been busy over the last week. Let's get you caught up on the action. The Kansas baseball team had a rough weekend against West Virginia. The Jayhawks were swept in a 3-game series for the first time all season, losing the games by scores of 11-10, 4-0, and 16-9. The sweep dropped Kansas to 9th in the Big 12 standings after the rough weekend. Kansas had a quick turnaround and took on the 20th-ranked Nebraska Cornhuskers for a Tuesday midweek matchup. The game was also the third annual Buck O'Neil Classic, where the Jayhawks wore KC Monarch uniforms to honor the baseball legend. It was a high-scoring game, but the Jayhawks got back in the win column with a 13-11 win. The Cornhuskers had the chance to tie or potentially take the lead in the top of the ninth as they had the bases loaded with only one out before Hunter Cranen and the Jayhawks defense escaped with a game-ending double play.
Thank you, Tyler. All-Star Weekend went by fast. The Sabrina Ionescu versus Stephen Curry saga went down in the books as the first three-point contest between a man versus woman in NBA history. Although she didn't win the contest between her and Steph, Ionescu's final score of 26 tied Damian Lillard's winning score in the regular Starry three-point contest. So, how did this idea become a reality? This all started last year when Ionescu went 37 for 40 in the WNBA three-point contest at Michelob Ultra Arena, where she broke the record for the most three-pointers in a three-point contest. After this happened, fans took to social media to discuss whether or not she could outshoot Stephen Curry. And so, the idea was born. Sabrina versus Steph, the shootout of the century. Quick reminder, both of these professional shooters beat the record for the most threes in a season. Sabrina with 128 and Steph with 402. Is making its way into college sports thanks to a collaboration between UFC Hall of Famer Uriah Faber and Sacramento State. This will be the first university to start this program, and it will operate as a club sport. Both men and women will be eligible to join the program. Students will be able to apply for additional scholarships through the combat program while attending the university. Faber will play a big part as he and his team, Alpha Male, will run what is called Combat Sports and Martial Arts University, also known as Combat U, along with the help of the Sacramento State Athletic Department. The program will start in the fall semester of 2024, but training is starting as soon as February. Faber is the executive coach, and his team, Alpha Male, will be coaching students who participate. Students who participate in this sport will compete on campus. As of now, the sport is not supported by the NCAA. According to ESPN, Faber and Wood expect that as more universities invest in similar programs. Retired boxer Mike Tyson and entertainer Jake Paul. It all started when Mike Tyson accidentally mentioned Jake Paul's brother, Logan's name, instead of Jake's name. Jake took offense to that on X. The two exchanged some words over social media, and Tyson uploaded some footage of his training. He looks impressive for being 57 years old and nearly 19 years since he retired. Jake Paul, on the other hand, is in the prime of his career, boasting a 9-1 record. These two will meet in a highly anticipated event, and it will get here before you know. Tune in on July 20th. I know you're eager to watch. That's all we have with the MMA. Tyler, what's next?
A lot of standing out so far this season. Offense in the NFL has had a major downgrade since the beginning of the 2021 season. The start of this NFL season has continued to de-escalate in the first 4 weeks. From 2020 to 2022, teams were scoring over 100 passing touchdowns to start off this year. In 2023, it went down to 86, and this year it sits at an estimate of 68. That number was calculated within the first 2 weeks of this year. Have the defenses caught on to the passing game? Are the coaches applying more clever disguised blitzes, or have offensive coordinators been heavily relying on their running backs? Touchdowns as a whole aren't the only problem. According to Match Quarters, passing yardage is down as well. From 2020 to 2022, NFL teams passed an average of 263 yards in the season's first 2 weeks. In 23, that number dipped to 238, and it's now at 216. The deep ball has had a tremendous drop as well due to the receiver talent. A lot of receivers in these past few drafts have given the league a lot of speed, and yes, the defensive coordinators have been scheming. The stuff you see the receivers do in college with the deep ball kind of fades in the NFL amongst all the talent. Match Quarters was also able to calculate big-time throws from 2022 to now. 2020 and 2021 had over 100 big-time throws from the start of the season, but in 22, it dropped to 70 before going up to 86 and has now reached at a whopping 66. As I said earlier, could running backs play a part and be the reason offense is moving down the field? Teams are averaging over 131 rushing yards, the highest it's been in the past 5 years. And the most explosive runs, which are over 10 yards a carry, are coming just from this season. Teams are running the ball more efficiently, and it's starting to get back to the pound game era. Last year, Dak led the NFL in passing touchdowns with 36 and behind him are Jordan Love, Brock Purdy, Jared Goff, and Josh Allen, who are struggling to get over 35. These past couple of years, the passing stats have gone down, and passing touchdown leaders can barely sniff 38 now. You rarely see a QB get to 50 passing touchdowns now, or even 5,000 passing yards. The last noteworthy thing to mention is the defense's ability to stop the high-powered offenses. The NFL used to be a league where you can hit anybody and anywhere they want it. Now, the offensive players are more protected. Blitz packages have been the answer, and defenses are crying 3 safeties in their nickel or disguising cover 3 to a blitz, using a lot of zone blitzes to confuse offenses. Match quarters says that a natural adjustment by defenses was to go light and play quarters. This helps guard the spread formation and helps the defense stay even, which makes QBs run even more. And this causes the QBs to panic. You rarely see pocket passing QBs anymore because defensive coordinators have caught up on QBs.
KU will take on the West Virginia Mountaineers here at Hogland Ballpark for the weekend. The Jacks are soaring into this series with lots of momentum after sweeping BYU last weekend. The Jacks are currently in 4th place in the Big 12 with a conference record at 7-5, while West Virginia is in a conference record at 5-4. The Jacks are prepared to battle West Virginia for 3 games, while the first game will be at Friday night at 6 o'clock p.m. The weather will be nice all weekend, so come out and support your Jayhawks. From Hogland Ballpark, I'm Barry Anderson.
It's a great venue within the NFL, you know, loudest fans in the whole world.
I'm super excited, but I'm going to miss the entire vibe that David Booth had there. It gets really packed, I gotta say, but I'm going to miss having games in Lawrence itself.
I'm excited for them. Hopefully Patrick will be able to step in for a few games, right?
I was excited because I'm personally from Kansas City, so I'm really excited.
Oh, I think it's iconic and exciting, but I'm worried that we won't have tailgates for home games anymore.
I was shocked. I think it's super fun, but I feel like it is kind of far away for students to really go out and watch the game.
It's a little unexpected, you know. Attendance probably gonna be down a little bit, but I mean, you know what they say, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Stop